Hi there everyone, Tessa Cunningham-Monroe here. Really excited to bring you the Footwork Agility Challenge for 2020. We're excited to be able to get into your house with you and help you work on your solo movement. During this time, we can't always get access to our partners, our classes, or our events. And so this is a prime opportunity to work on your body and your mind. So join us for the next 7 days as we give you 23 progressive drills to work on your footwork agility. So in order to get started, what we're going to be doing is starting off with a bunch of footwork technique fundamentals that everyone should be applying to every single one of the drills that they do, regardless of whether it's this series or some other instructor's drills, because these are fundamental techniques that just make the dance more effective, more efficient, and more fluid. So we're going for making sure every single step you take in every drill always has good quality, attentive, mindful movement, so you're not wasting a single step on something that is empty or mindless or ineffective. Hi everyone, Tessa Cunningham-Monroe here, and Miles is right behind the camera. We wanted to introduce you to the day one of the Footwork Agility Challenge. Thanks for joining us. First of all, what we're going to be doing is explaining a couple of key points about foot rolling to get everybody on the same page technique-wise. Then we're going to be describing the drills for day one and exactly what we'd like you to show us on your video when you post it for the challenge. So, without further ado, the 5 points of technique. Now there are lots more points of technique, of course, we could use for foot rolling, but what we need to do is focus on the most essential ones first. So first of the 5 technique points is to make sure that you can assume an athletic pitch. Now what we have a lot of people confused with often in our classes or our private lessons is that they think that pitch comes from here. Nope, that's posture. And they think that pitch comes from the ankle joint, like you're doing a Michael Jackson video or a ski jumper. Nope, that's the ankles. What we're looking for is to be pitching in the hip flexors here, which is that joint between your legs and your torso. So we want to be pitched forward about no more than 5 degrees, and that's about the same type of pitch that you would have if you were walking up a set of stairs. So when you do that, what happens is you take your glutes and your quads off of the stretch, and what they are able to relax and move more freely underneath you. If you find that foot rolling is difficult for you, chances are you might be sucking those glutes in, squeezing your pelvis and your groin muscles, and your quads are physically not able to relax enough so that you can roll. So what we're going to say on a regular basis in these videos is check in with your butt and make sure that you have a good forward pitch where your hips are behind your ribs and you're not vertically stacked like a soldier. All right. So next technique, what we want to make sure we're doing is doing a little bit of toe turnout. Not too much. Don't go for 10 and 2. It will only go for 11 and 1. And what usually helps a lot of people is if you take your feet just a little bit wider than or narrower than hip distance, and then turn your heels in, and that actually gives you activates the right muscles so that you're not worrying so much about just turning out from your ankles. So we are always going to be doing all of our steps with a slight turnout. Don't go crazy. Next, what we're going to be doing for foot rolling is simulating human walking. So that means when we're walking backwards as a normal human being, if we were doing it casually, like in life, talking to a friend who's walking forwards, we would strike our toe first, then our ball would touch, then imagine your arch could touch, then your heel would strike, and then your knee would straighten. So the walking cycle would go toe, ball, arch, heel, knee straight, toe, ball, arch, heel, knee straight. So in order to touch my toe to the floor before my ball does, look at how high my heel has to go and my ankle has to open. So I'm going to make sure that my ankle is really willing to expand. I want to increase the maximum range of motion of my ankle angle. So I can go ball on the floor, ball off the floor, ball on the floor, ball off the floor. And as I'm doing that, I want to do that nice and smoothly. Toe, ball, arch, heel, knee straight, toe, ball, arch, heel, knee straight. I'm going to stop there, take a couple of walking stationary steps just to make sure that I can keep the same technique even when I'm not traveling. So toe, ball, arch, heel, knee straight, toe, ball, arch, heel, knee straight, and do that same range of motion in your ankle and process through the sole of your foot as you're doing a stationary step. Now let's talk about weight transfer, exactly how much of your weight you're putting through each one of those segments. Well, as I'm walking backwards, I've got 5 segments that I'm rolling through. Well, let's actually distribute the weight gradually through them. So I'm going to go 20% of my weight, 40% of my weight, 60% through the arch, 80% on my heel, and then 100% as I finish the knee straightening. So that turns into 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And what that does is it takes the pressure off of my toes and my balls. Many people, if they have a Latin background, or maybe they've been taught by someone using the words digging and massaging into the floor, that can give you a false impression that you're supposed to put more pressure on your forefoot than is really healthy for you. So instead of thinking about 80%, 20%, think about, how would we walk backwards? Would you go 80 as you're walking backwards? No, you would do it nice and gradually. So let's go gradually through those segments: 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. Now, the key thing about this one is that we need to be able to do that good quality foot rolling with the turnout and the gradual weight transfer in every direction, and forwards, backwards, sideways, crossing, stationary, and arcing and turning. So let's actually go through those different cardinal directions, I like to call them. We already did it on the spot. We already did it walking backwards. We talked about walking forward being a heel strike for now. We didn't?
No, you didn't.
Okay, good. I made it that far. That's good. Can you press pause?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to be using that same technique for walking on the spot, backwards, but forwards we're going to be using a heel strike. So normally, if we're walking as a normal human being, you easily can heel strike as you're walking forward. You don't have to think about it too much. However, if you have a background in Latin or jazz or ballet where they specifically taught you how to drag through your toe and lead through your toe for that heel strike, great, awesome, use it. But if you haven't got there yet, don't worry about it. It's not essential to West Coast Swing. It's not critical. It's more of a refinement you can worry about later. You have higher priorities to worry about right now. So for right now, forward walking, just do a nice normal heel strike. It's not something we're focusing on at the moment. Let's talk about the other directions. Going sideways. We all know that in West Coast Swing, we're going to cross in front. So we need to have our toes turned out, do toe ball arch, heel knee straight, and then when we cross in front, that front foot has to go toe ball arch, heel knee straight as well. However, many people miss this part. While the front foot is rolling down, you want the back foot to be peeling simultaneously so that you don't get caught with two straight legs crossed, making you look like you got to go to the bathroom. So instead, want to make sure that we're going roll, and then as we cross and roll that foot, peel the back foot so that your heel of the front foot doesn't get to the floor before the back heel starts releasing. You'll notice that when I do that, my knees actually end up having lots of space to roll, as opposed to getting stuck and trying to peel out from underneath a straightened leg. If you feel your calves bonking together, that means you're doing it right. If you feel your thighs squeezing, that means that you're not doing the peeling action we were just talking about. Okay, we're going to be using the exact same technique when we're doing turning on the spot. So peeling up the heel, pivoting the foot, rolling it back down, peeling up the back foot, putting it back down. So making sure that we're able to do this on the spot, rotating around one point on one forefoot or on one toe. So you should be able to do that in both directions. Pause. Make sure that you're not doing this bad habit where instead of picking up your foot, pivoting it and putting it down, and then rolling this front foot or this outside foot to be able to catch up to it, make sure that you're not going and picking up this foot and turning it in and picking up your foot every time to turn. So we're working on pivoting your foot before the weight gets down on it. Okay, the last part that we need to focus on is the arc. So we're going to take that same sideways crossing action, but we're going to do it in large curving arcs, which is a direction that a lot of people don't actually practice. It doesn't really occur to them that we have anything but straight lines in our dance, but actually West Coast Swing is full of them, and the more you know about it, the more you'll discover. So we've got stationary, backwards, forwards, sideways, tight turning, and arcs, and we're going to be using foot rolling techniques in all of those directions. Now, if we were to have you practice this just in those cardinal directions and then try to leap forward and put this into a pattern, you would not be able to apply a lot of those techniques to your pattern. So instead, what we're going to be doing is giving you a very specialized progressive set of drills called the B drill. So what we did today was just basically to establish a baseline, a fundamental, rudimentary technique that everyone needs to be on the same page for in order to understand how to progress the rest of these drills. Is there more technique and refinements to be had for footwork technique? Of course, this is not what we're aiming to do on the very first day. We're going to be ramping up, spiraling up to make sure that we're building these skills progressively. And of course, there's going to be hundreds more drills that you're going to know about that apply some of these techniques to be able to for different situations. But that's not necessarily what we're aiming for in this particular challenge. So if you know a lot more footwork skills, awesome. Take this opportunity to actually zoom in and narrow your focus only on the pure, clean, mindful weight control and agility fundamentals that we're doing here, and save all the stylish stuff for later, because if you focus on the fundamentals now, it's going to transfer into your stylized footwork variations later if you do your homework the way that we recommend during this progressive 7-day challenge.